Call this meeting to order of the City Commission of Rio Grande City. It's Thursday, November the 15th, 2018, approximately 6:37 p.m. here in Commission Chambers, City Hall, 5332 East US Highway 83, Rio Grande City, Texas, Suite A. This time we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Flores, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We ask for your guidance in making decisions for the city, and for your guidance in making the right decisions that benefit our residents. We ask for your protection of our law enforcement personnel, our fire department. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Next, business and orders item 1B, roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Peña?
Mayor Villarreal,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Peña. Next, business and orders item 1C, departmental reports. Mr. Perez?
In consideration of time, sir, we're going to minimize the departmental reports. Actually, we're not going to have any. But we do have a celebration on a recognition that the Downtown Association has bestowed on the city of Rio Grande City for their festival. Yes. And so for now, Ms. Sara Hernandez, would you like to show us the plaque that you all received in Corpus Christi? It's over there by the table.
Because Mr. Perez made me give it to him.
And let us know how you got there.
Tell us a little bit about what this represents, and obviously it's a cause for a celebration.
Yes, definitely. Well, when I started with the city in April, we decided to do something that would celebrate our heritage and our culture. The Historical Commission had come by previously and said that we should do a lot more with the heritage tourism. So this was an idea that came about. I noticed that we didn't really do too many celebrations on Cinco de Mayo or 16 de Septiembre, so we decided to give it a shot. The first year we had a few groups, very minimal budget. I went out and looked for sponsors, and we had such a great response from the community. Many the people who attended the event came dressed in their Mexican attire, and we had different competitions, and we noticed that there was obviously a market for this type of event. So we did our second annual and our third annual, and each year it kept getting larger and larger. And the Main Street decided to nominate the Viva Mexico to the Texas Downtown Association as a promotional event. There's different categories. There was promotional event, best downtown business, best investment, best partner. So there was in total 103 applications. From there, they did some finalists, and then on November 7th, they announced the winners in each category. So at that dinner on November 7th in Corpus Christi, the Texas Downtown Association awarded us the 2018 Best Promotional Event for a cultural event, Viva Mexico. So that's how we kind of got here. So it's great to see that this event is being recognized. It makes me feel like we're in the right direction. And I want to do more of these events and celebrating our culture. And so today we actually met, let me pull it up because I want to make sure I pronounce it right. The Centro Cultural Mexicano en el Valle de Texas wants to have a posada here in Rio Grande City. They do different events throughout the valley, so we're planning on something for December 14th. So just to kind of keep up with the traditions, I think this would add more events here to the city and go well with some of the other events we're already doing. So.
Well, certainly one more accolade for
Yes.
Rio Grande City. I know we have plenty. Should we start building a trophy case, Mr. Perez? Is that where we're headed? Is that,
Yeah.
Va a querer poner Pérez de él.
well, aside from the many,
Well, and I think she needs to elaborate on, I think she does an excellent job in going and getting sponsorships. Do you want to touch on that? I mean, because it's not a small event and she does really work hard at that.
Yes, a lot of the local businesses, from the very beginning when I went out and looked for sponsorship, it was challenging, of course. It was not something that I had ever done before. But they gave us a chance and continue to give us a chance. And I'm super appreciative to all the sponsors that assist us financially with these events. And also different city departments that participate in the event and make the event possible, because obviously we couldn't put something together of this magnitude on our own. So Public Works is always out there with me. Christian always helps with all the flyers and all the promo, and we've done some, I think the last one we did was a Crazy Chona Challenge, and that got some attention too. So just having fun with the event, I think that's what makes it what it is, you know, something different for this community. And I see that other communities are also celebrating now their 16 de septiembre, having their own fiesta, so that's great. I noticed that the high school homecoming parade was Mexican themed too, so it's great that everybody else is on board with celebrating our culture.
and let us bear in mind when we put these events together, it's at minimal cost to the city.
Definitely.
And that is one thing that, again, and kudos to all the individuals that plan our events and are able to get sponsorships, because again, it's minimal cost to the city, to the taxpayers, and we still have a great event, and we're now awarded as well for these type of events. And again, the accolades keep coming Rio Grande City's way, so I mean, excellent to all the staff and everyone that participates in putting events like these together. Obviously, there's a lot of people involved, so and congratulations to all of you. And one more, and like I said, and I'm not joking about a trophy case. I think that with so many accolades coming our way, I don't know what we're gonna do with so many, so.
We're gonna wrap a car, and we're just gonna put on it on the side. We just win.
All we do is win.
You're winners, is that it?
We do is win.
Hey, doesn't that sound familiar somewhere? We're, all right.
Moving right along.
Moving along, so, but no, thank you very much. Thank you, certainly appreciate the efforts. So do we at this point then take a picture with our newest accolade? No, if we can, up to the front.
Put it up on the shelf.
It didn't happen, right?
All right, everybody smiling. 1, 2, 3. A little bit more. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Following that, Mayor, we got two young ladies we'd like to introduce. If they could step forward. We got Miss Rio Grande City, and yeah, Miss Tiny didn't come? Okay. You want to come forward? Introduce yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Gonzalez. I'm Miss Rio Grande City. I keep going.
Absolutely.
Tell us about yourself.
I go to school in Real High. I am in cross country. I want to do basketball. I'm in cheerleading. And I'm in 2 AP classes.
How about your parents?
That's my mom, Cynthia Gonzalez, and that's my dad, Roy Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, congratulations.
And I have a little brother that just came, and he's 4 months just yesterday. And his name's Roy Gonzalez Jr. And then I have a little sister named Kendra Gonzalez.
And what college are you planning to attend?
I'm planning to attend A&M University.
A&M.
Go, Maggie.
Go. All right, well, thank you very much. And congratulations.
Congratulations.
Come up to the front here. The parents.
Mr. Ramirez, my daughter's talking to the TV. Mr. Ramirez.
We're gonna give her some flowers.
This is for you. Congratulations.
We're done, sir.
So once again, just to conclude on that note, Mr. and Ms. Gonzalez, once again, congratulations. Ms. Gonzalez, it is great to represent Rio Grande City, and I'm sure you're gonna do a great job, and certainly look forward to seeing you at many more of the events that we're gonna be having. So congratulations. Appreciate your time and your effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next business in order at this time, if there's no objection, we'd like to move over to executive session, item 7. Executive session, chapter 551, Texas Government Code, section 551.071, consultation with attorney, section 552.072, real property, section 551.074, personnel matters, and section 551.087, economic development matters. No objection. Moving on to executive session. It is 6:50 p.m. Back from executive session. It is 9:06 p.m. Is that correct? Yeah. I guess it is. Moving on, back to item 2, consent agenda. Letter A, B, and C. Approval of departmental travel request. B, approval of minutes from previous meetings, and approval of action taken at the meeting of RGC-EDC held on October 16, 2018. Have that in your package. Do we?
Mayor, I move that we approve items A, B, and C in consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Second. By Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next business and orders item 3, resolutions. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2018-20, designating official city holidays for calendar year 2019. 3A. Has anything changed from last year?
No, sir.
All the same?
Everything the same?
Yes, sir.
I'm open.
Okay, we have a motion to
I'll second the motion,
approve.
Mayor.
We have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next business and orders item 3B, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2018-21, authorizing the city manager to take appropriate steps and for the city attorney to negotiate the acquisition of property necessary for the future site of a permanent lift station.
Mayor and Commissioners, at this time, we're gonna table that. We were working on it, Ms. Liv's been working on it, but apparently we have to go back and get new appraisals on the whole property, and that's been delayed.
Okay. We have a motion to table at this time.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to table by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 4A, second reading and possible action to approve Historic District Sign Ordinance 2018-2. 4A,
Have Mr. Milan?
Milan.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Sir.
Some of the highlights on these proposed ordinance for the historic district are the application for approval of signs, limiting 2 signs per property at 2 by 3 feet. Maintain a distance of 50 feet between any other temporary sign. There has to be a permit application, which is $25, not per sign, but just per application, regardless of the number of signs. All we need is the exact location, what they're gonna look like, proposed size, materials, and the surrounding. The application has to be approved within time. And also there is gonna be some fees if the signs are not picked up after the deadlines, like, 7 days after an election period.
And so the distance between the signs was to make sure that they were not all bunched up and all together. And that's one of the things we're trying to reduce the clutter.
Does this address the T-post?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, as per recommendation of legal, the T-poles, we can also look at no excavating, code compliance. We can definitely address those.
We went ahead and added all the changes they wanted, planning wanted, Mr. Mian. I do want to clarify one thing. It says $25 per application.
Right.
My reading of it is $25 per sign, okay? I just heard Mr. Mian said with no limit of signs, so that's something you all need to consider.
Well, that was my concern the last time. I would like for it to be $25 per application, not per sign, because you're gonna put 100 signs in. I mean, it's crazy, and you can't pay $25 per sign.
Well, okay, but then on the other hand, you will not have limits. You can put 200, for $25. So I'm just throwing that out there because the way I would have read it, I don't want someone to say, well, it's $25 and I'm going to put 500 signs.
So it's a limit of signs per application.
Yeah, that's up to you, to council, to the council members, the commission. So
And right now it's 2 per application.
no, it's 2
Per property.
for property, correct.
Property.
But the way it was discussed right now to the commission was no limit of signs for $25. No, it's not, there's no limit.
Okay, so what changes will we need to make here?
Just to clarify that,
But we also need to consider, let's say you put a limit, let's say 20 or 50, whatever the number they come up with. Then do you need to consider the number of applications? Because then I can submit, but you're gonna charge me 25 for each application, but I can come in and say I need 5 applications and here's $25 for each, and I can have X number of whatever you quantify per application.
No, it's good, this is a historic.
Normally what goes up is between 100 and
Yeah.
150 signs.
It's what they can afford.
No, because we didn't, we
So like-
What is it?
So 100 signs per app maximum?
100 signs maximum per permit, 2 permits limit.
Okay,
You're
but
still not, they're not gonna be bunched up, so they can't be on top of each other. Yes.
there's no
Yeah, you're gonna
excavating
need 50
allowed.
lots to begin with. Unless you're gonna put it out here in the open, right of way somewhere, but they have to be 50 feet.
We
apart.
don't have.
yeah, but the historic district, we're only talking about
we're
historic
talking about
district.
historic
right?
district,
But
correct.
the historic
This is only
district-
historic district.
What are we considering the historic district? The fire station hasta
Why? I haven't thought.
This is, if we look at the historic district survey, is from the Lax Furniture all the way to Rocky Guerra Elementary.
Okay.
There's
No,
not
we
many.
had numerous calls from the historical commission about the signage and how many do we have
That
out
applies
there.
only to Second Street
But-
and Main Street, correct? Not north on 75 or Basolo, Florida.
That would be, according to the survey, is 6th Street. That's the limit.
10
So you only have limited space to begin with.
Yeah.
10 signs, no? I think
I
that's.
mean, if that's the purpose to limit the number of signs in downtown, then yeah, I mean. you
Because
need
really,
to-
that's the purpose of this whole
yeah,
thing, is how do
a
we
limit of 10
limit?
signs or 15 signs, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I say 10 signs.
Well, and one of the things, remember, this, the other ordinance that's coming up, that's a temporary signs. That's
Yeah.
the B, right below that.
Right.
So you know, if you're talking, if you're thinking political signs that are put during an election, that would be covered, también under B, temporary signs.
Oh,
Okay. So maybe the change you
That
want
will be under B.
yeah, maybe what you're thinking is you want to use it under B. I'm just, ahorita we're dealing with a historical area. But again, it doesn't say how many signs.
Right, and which is, that's imperative that we say that, because if we don't, then it's, again, it's limitless in a sense. And the whole idea of this is
to minimize it.
minimize it in the downtown area, because I agree with the historical commission. I mean, it looks terrible when there's just too many signs out there.
I think the last elections were pretty decent. The Historic Preservation Commission, they actually believed the ordinance was on already. They didn't see that many signs already on site.
I think we need to put a number, Mayor, because I think I saw my fellow colleague start putting signs on the downtown area. I don't know if you noticed it, but I don't even want to mention the name, but. Yes, but the signs downtown, I saw it already, and I can just picture the whole downtown having 10 signs.
So 25%, $1 a sign? I mean, for application?
Yeah, something needs to be done right now, because
Well,
it needs to be
here's the,
controlled. It needs to be controlled.
Well, we need to control it for sure. I mean, we need to find a way, but again, going back to minimizing.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So what's the magic number then? What, do we, guess, come back to this item?
Well, I mean, 10, 15, what is it you want to allow per application? 15, 10? Just come up with a
I
limit.
like the 10
I
number,
like the 10.
10
I
per
like the 10.
application and limit to applications?
which would put them at 20 per.
Right.
And that
In
would
the
cover,
downtown?
so let's say that would cover 20, I mean, you're talking about 20 per,
And remember, you can't have them but 50 feet apart.
right, so it would space it out quite a bit, so
Yeah.
10,
And remember, they need to have permission where they
Yeah.
put them, so it's not like they can cover the whole downtown.
just thinking out loud, I guess, what really would minimize it would be the cost.
True.
I mean, at the end of the day, is the cost would minimize how many signs are gonna be out there, right? But I'm not
We're talking about
proposing-
permanent, esto,
But
right?
if you want to minimize the number of signs,
We're
then you need to
talking,
put a
yeah.
number, and that's it. Just put
They're not,
10
you're not
on-
talking
on
about
one permit.
temporary here.
Yeah, now you can buy two
Okay, so
permits, that's
10,
fine.
so say 10 per permit, 1 permit per,
I mean, they can put the signs all around town they want to, but Main Street or the downtown historic area, then 1 permit, 10 signs. That's it.
That's good.
One permit, 10 signs.
Okay, and may I suggest also, Mayor and Commissioner, you might, and regarding a slate, are you considering a slate? Let's assume a slate, 2 or 3 people running together, that would be considered a slate. Are you saying 1 application per slate, 2 applications? I mean, something that you
Well,
want.
we gotta apply same concept here. We don't minimize the
That'll
number
be
of
in the
signs,
B,
so
no?
it's per slate.
That'll be on
Yeah,
the B?
yes, correct.
because that would be per application, would it not? Because, I mean, it would
So,
be
but
1
let's say you
application.
have 4 people to a slate, and each one comes in and applies. So they can, yeah. for the same sign, so you get 40 signs instead of,
I say keep
Either
it,
or.
yeah, I say keep it the same.
Either
One
or.
application, 10 signs.
okay.
Either or. We're trying to limit it, so keep it the same.
There's always a loophole, right?
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, I agree with, so it'd be one application, then 10 signs, and that includes,
First slate.
what would the language be to make sure that we cover that?
What you need, right now, if you're gonna move, you need to make a motion to approve the ordinance, subject to the changes that you have discussed, contingent to the changes you've discussed, and ordering staff and city attorney to prepare the ordinance, subject to those changes. That's the only thing you would need to move on.
Okay, so in the changes going back to one application, 10 signs, and that includes whether it's a slate or whether it's a single individual, right?
That'll cover A and B.
So it's one application.
And-
For all signs, for permanent and
This,
temporary.
this is temporary signs.
These are
Yeah, temporary
temporary.
signs.
Temporary signs.
In the historical area.
Yeah, in the
In the
historical.
historical, and then you're gonna go to B, which is temporary signs outside the historical area. That's the way I
That's
understand it. Is that the way you
Yes,
wanted the
that's
changes?
correct, yes.
Right, so well, let's one at a time. All right, so is everybody okay with that? Anything else? Any other potential loopholes that might exist that we're not considering, Mr. Milan? Anything else that,
No, sir.
you know, how people can be very creative at times, I guess. We can be very creative, I suppose. And
Well,
let's include all of us in there.
The whole purpose is to have people apply for this kind of permits. I mean, we need to know what's going on where.
Okay. Because this is already the second reading, right? Yeah, the second reading. So, anything else, commissioners? Any other additions, any other?
That's it.
All right. Okay, so do we have a motion at this time?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve item 4A as discussed here, and subject to the changes discussed, and like approved by the city manager and attorney.
That suffice?
That good?
Yeah, ordering the city staff and attorney to incorporate the changes
The
you
changes
discussed.
discussed here.
Correct.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 4B, first reading and possible action approving ordinance 2018-3, amending the City of Rio Grande City sign ordinance 2001-7. 4B.
Again, Mayor, Commissioners, this is not to entirely deny this kind of publicity, but to express the political choices in an orderly manner. This is the areas outside the historic district, reinstating to put signs inside private property, not public property right away or railroad right away. No temporary sign greater than 32 square feet, not greater than 10 feet in height, and no more than 3 temporary signs not to exceed 32 square feet. Only allowed for 120 days, and 7 days after an election it's over. Also with a permit application, and again, 3 temporary signs on a lot where the owner consents to have those signs.
Now, Mr. Milan, to address the latest billboards coming up in private residences.
That's correct. Some of those signs that are popping up all over town that are not obviously structural engineered, you know, they need to be revisited. I mean, they're not allowed, they don't have any guarantee as to wind speed or any engineered study per se. So those will be revised. Most of them do not have any permits yet. So all the building codes, including this ordinance, will be observed.
Plus they're over 32 square feet
Correct,
in a private residence.
yeah.
So what are we doing to go back to some of those and make sure we address that? Because I agree, there's way too many
They're gonna keep
billboards and they
Yes.
keep popping up, and at the end of the day, they haven't gone through
Correct.
any of our permitting requirements, and that is
There-
an issue that we need to address.
Correct, there is no grandfathering, they're under no harmony with the historic district of any kind. They're, again, they have no study, no review, no plan review, nothing, so it will be revisited.
Okay, so we're gonna go out. and
Yes.
You're starting that already, is?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The plan department has seized, we're not issuing permits for those kind of structures.
And if need be, if they have to remove them,
Yes.
we'll make sure that they
We'll
remove
take them
them.
through
Is
a
that where
process.
we're headed?
And also, the use of those structures have been popular for, they use them for lease. And as far as I know, there is no tax reporting or, they're not registered as a business, even though, they're making money off them.
Well, but the idea is that we're just seeing too many without
Correct.
any type of structure, without us, even approving, which again, there's an issue, especially with safety and security for people in
Correct.
general.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else on this one here? I know it says 120 days prior.
Correct. And again, this is temporary signage. This is outside the historic district. In this, outside the historic district, they can go up to 32 square feet.
And going back to, again, the T-posts, we're
No, they,
doing away with T-posts.
correct. They're not allowed, actually under building codes, they would have to get an excavating permit.
I'm gonna have them, yeah.
So I guess just reflecting back on the dates, 120 days, that would put them, and we're talking about before the general election.
Correct, that's the moment they register as candidates.
4 months.
Okay, say that again, Mr. Milan, let me make sure I grasp that one. Go
At
ahead.
time of registration as an official candidate for whatever yes.
For example, you have general elections, let's say the county or November, they do obviously their primaries. How would that impact any of that?
Well,
If theoretically, they could, let's say, put up signs in January and have them up till November.
that would be a
Would that
question
not-
for legal.
I mean,
If they want, if the primary is over, okay, they have, according to the ordinance, 7 days after to remove. And then if they're running on the general election, I guess huh? That's the way I would look at it. It would be a different election.
so
Because
in
you
other
have,
words, it'd be
you,
two separate elections. One would be for primary.
Correct.
After 7 days, you remove them, and then come back November, then you would have to go back and
correct, because when you file your.
a new application and so on.
You're filing for the primary election. If you're elected as the winner, then you're running on the general election.
We'll get pushback on that.
Well,
Because they're gonna say, I'm still running, and I've already paid for this. Now you're making me pick it up, put it back and pay again. Not only to place it, but also for application.
Yes.
And we had some of those candidates this time around.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, the idea is that theoretically, the sign could be there for 9 months.
Correct, that is correct. It
I
happened.
mean,
It happened.
right, and
Yeah.
that's just too long.
That's why there's a limitation of 120 days.
Commissioners?
I'm just stating the fact.
Right, no, and that's it's a good point to bring up, because again, it could be there for 9 months, and
Correct.
that's just too long to be having signs out there.
They get discolored.
What's that?
I guess they would, hopefully they'll get encouraged to put two signs up that, outside the city limits.
Well, Al cabo los ahí no votan. The famous line from Commissioner.
We will get calls on that.
Well,
They're gonna point out, I already paid to set them up, and I have to go pick them up, put them back,
well,
and another application.
right, and that is, but again, goes back to addressing the whole idea of the signs. Is just, again, when you're having them there for 9 months, or 8 months, or whatever the time frame is, that is simply, even 10 months, because theoretically, if you put them up in January, up till November, so let's say that's, 10 months of having them out there.
And that's what other cities do. I don't think they're up for 9 months.
I don't think
So we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. I mean,
Aquí no hay republicanos, aquí sale uno que otro nomás.
all right, so I'm okay with that. Commissioner?
I'm okay.
We're good. All right. What else on here, Mr. Milan? Anything else
That's
that
it.
stands out to make sure
Again,
we...
just for clarification purposes, this is only temporary signs. Any regular sign has to go through the whole scope of planning, engineering review, things that some of these, again, homemade structures are missing.
Now here on item, I was looking at C, signs confiscated by the city will be stored for 10 days and may be claimed by the owner by the payment of $5 per sign.
That's in addition to removal costs.
Well, right, but they might just say keep them, so how do we ensure that we get paid?
Thank you for picking them up.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, let them pick them up and then they don't claim it.
Lo ponemos en la subasta.
I mean, because then we're gonna be with the brunt of picking up all this and doing the work, and yet we don't recuperate any cost.
Yeah.
So how do we put more teeth into that?
Well, they were incurring to fees. Having said that, the signs can also be destroyed after the 10th day of storage. Doesn't mean they don't owe those fees anymore. They still owe us money for picking up that sign and having our facility.
But you're citing them also, right?
That's correct.
So they're gonna be cited.
Okay, so we're gonna cite them and we're gonna...
Correct. I mean, we already did the work of going picking it up. That's, and of course,
It goes back to, you want them removed,
Right.
and so,
We'll remove them, but at the same time,
You're gonna have to
we're
pay
gonna
for
cite
that.
them, and then they'll incur the cost. Now,
Correct.
some way, somehow, they're gonna pay for making sure that they didn't, take care of business.
it reminds me of, when code enforcement cleans a lot, you incur the cost, and you still have, the owner is still liable, even though the lot is clean now. You don't have a code violation, but you still owe the city money.
So it addresses that issue then.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on there? All right. Any other major points of reference here, Mr. Milan?
No, sir.
Before we, that maybe, again, just to make sure we're covering all the bases.
This is the first reading.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll go back and
Yeah,
fix.
yeah, they can fix on that, because I don't see the T-post here on this
We
one.
don't see the T-post right there.
storage issue.
The historic district, that was 2x3, yes.
It's a
Yeah.
smaller size, because we don't want them to obstruct the view of traffic and that kind of stuff in case in the corner or somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we come back to this one, and of course, the addition would be a T-post and other issues there. All right, so at this time it's the first reading, so we of course have the second, so any other comments before we entertain a motion at this time?
So move.
Okay. What's that, Mr. Mayor?
No, just FYI, should we get into litigation due to a sign, that the responsible party would be liable for any attorney fees or court costs.
Okay. Definitely, we need to include that in there, sure. Moving on, all right, so we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez.
Yeah, and we need to add to it, subject to the changes that were
Okay.
discussed here and adopted, and into the second reading of the ordinance. So,
This is the first reading, we'll come back and add the changes anyway, no?
well, however you want to do it, you know, our recommendation is, once you say the changes, we can add them for the second reading.
For sure, okay.
I move that we approve also to add the changes as discussed here.
So what's the motion?
No, que te quieres ir, lo estás haciendo más largo.
All right, moving.
He was taking a nap, okay.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez.
I second.
We have a second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I opposed. Motion carries. Next, business and orders item 4C, first reading and possible action to approve ordinance number 2018-8, amending the budget for fiscal year 2018-2019.
Yeah, Mr. Patu?
Yes,
we need to do a budget amendment for the sanitation department, move it into, what I'm proposing is to move it into the water department and put it under a separate department where we keep track of it just like we do with on a different fund, but we won't have to be doing all the double work that needs to be done right now.
that was something that was recommended by
the auditor. I consulted with them and they agreed with us. They said we should have kept it there in the first place. There's really no reason to move it out. Everything is still categorized and we keep track of all the revenues and expenses for that department.
Okay. You entertain any questions or this time entertain a motion?
All right, so move, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve
Second.
by Commissioner Jones. Second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed. Motion carries. The next business and orders item 5, City Manager's Report. Letter A, presentation and acceptance of the 2015-2016 financial audit. The City of Rio Grande City. Mr. Perez.
So the good news, Mayor, is that we're this close to it being final, and Ms. Bess can vouch for that.
All right.
They're really just preparing it for presentation for you guys. We
Okay.
met with them day before you? Tuesday. And so they presented the findings to no surprises from what had already been discussed with us. Probably Mr. Cantu can elaborate on that. The next one should be following, and they're tasked with trying to process as many transactions to close the books for this. That's
For the
last year.
16-17? Yeah,
Yes.
for the 16-17, we're gonna try to get as much done as we can before December 31st. Anything that we do not get done is gonna have to be issued as auditor's entries that create afterwards. So what we need to do is try to do as much as we can, because once December 31st gets here, we close the years and we're not able to input anything electronically anymore. Everything has to be done manually.
And that's setting the stage for the next one. So soon after that, I don't know if you want to guesstimate from your standpoint.
It all depends on how much we can get in there by December 31st. I know all the holidays and there's a lot going on right now that just doesn't allow us to work solely on getting everything in there, but we certainly will try. We know exactly what needs to be worked on, so if we can work on all of that and make those entries. If everything's done by December 31st, we can just hand it over to them, and it shouldn't take them that long. Probably, I don't want to say maybe 2 months the most for them to finalize that. If everything's in there.
At this time, motion then to table it. Okay. Now, if we need a special meeting, sir, for them to present, then we can definitely, we need to move on that as soon as they're ready. We don't have to wait till next.
Before the end of the month. So before the end of the month, we'll have it back to you. Maybe sooner than later, because there's not any changes coming back from us to them after our review. We're basically accepting their findings as they presented them to us, and so we can move forward.
So we need, like I said, a special meeting. Let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have a motion at this time to table? Okay, we have a motion to table by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 5B, discussion and possible action to declare certain equipment as surplus. Which,
It's PD, it's just the auction that they're gonna have this week.
Mayor, City Commission, we're asking if we could get approved several items for surplus for our next auction, which is December 1st. Most of the stuff is old electronics that are just taking up storage space. So that's pretty much all that we have on the surplus.
any vintage computers or?
No,
All right.
too vintage, but
All right.
And those computers, are we wiping them clean?
we're gonna have our Mr. Mori, our IT guy, take a look at them, make sure that if they do turn off, that they're wiped out.
So move, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez.
I second.
I have a second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 6, contracts and agreements. Letter A, discussion and possible action approving right of entry agreement with U.S. Customs and Border Protection Homeland Security Project 1. And at this time, we can probably move on letters A, B, and C together since they're all related. Project 1, Project 2, and Project 3.
Correct.
Perez?
Yes, sir, this is going back to border security and the border fence. So Corps of Engineers need access to city properties, and that's what this is asking for.
Is that Fordyce property? Where's that exactly?
Yes, 4 dice, and it comes closer to the water plant.
And that's the border wall is going to be there right in front of the Fordyce property as you're going in.
Correct.
Next
After
to
the-
83. At least that's what they're
Yeah, the Corps of Engineers
projecting.
will come and mark the spots, and so after they come through, we should be able to visually go and see exactly more or less what it's gonna be. The 4 dice area, the concern there is it's looking that's not too far from the highway, so we'll be losing the majority of the bike trails. But we're gonna wait for them to set it up first and see if we can do anything about it. We did state a concern to them about, who's gonna wanna go to the other side of the fence and ride their bikes, and I said, we've had a similar situation in other areas, there hasn't been a problem. So we'll see.
And at this point, it's just for them to survey.
Correct. That is for
Mr.
sure.
Perez, are they gonna be cutting roads down there for their survey?
No, not that I know of. No. This is really to mark the spot where the possible fence will be at. So after they mark it, we can go by and look at, where exactly they're gonna be at. What's the impact on us?
Did you already, Mr. Gabriel, did you already look at the language from?
We did.
Okay, and there's nothing
No
out there
issues.
as far as roads or anything that they're moving, just simply remarking the areas. All right. Have a motion at
That's
this
fine.
time?
A motion to approve, Mayor. A, B, and C.
Okay, we have a motion to approve letters 6A, B, and C by Commissioner Ramirez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, business and order item 6D, discussion and possible action to approve lease agreement with Frank Fuente, DBA BTA Kids for premises at 407 East Mirasoles Street, Suite A and B, Lopez Tijerina Complex. 6D.
Mayor and Commissioner, Mr. Puente approached us, he's looking at 2 suites, no different than the others that we just recently did. So, he looked at that, he's okay with, what we're gonna be asking for, and so he's, trying to set up his, BTA Kids.
Great.
What is BTA Kids? It's like a clothing store or a therapy place? What is it?
Well, the mayor could probably tell you personal experience, has been interviewed by
You've been interviewed by.
Yeah.
Many of us have. I know Chief also been. It's they do the social media, and they do video blogging, and they do videos, and very active in the community.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we have entertain a motion at this time.
I move to approve item D.
Okay, we have a motion to approve
Second motion.
by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item E, 6E, discussion and possible action to approve contract with, is this correct, Acela? Is that the way, Customer Relation Management Software for the Public Utilities Department? 6E?
Yes, sir. Currently, we take calls, complaints, requests from residents, and it's a manual process, routing them via messages, text, email. And so this is a customer relations management system. It's really a service request management process. So if you're a resident and you're going about your business and somebody didn't pick up your trash, or you have a pothole, or somebody's dumping trash and you want to take a picture and submit a complaint, or say, hey, somebody needs to look at this, they can do it from their phones, smartphones, and send it in without having to talk to anybody. They can do it at any time of the day or the night. And so that request comes through, and through predefined rules, it will route it to the right department. You can have it to where if you want everything coming to your director or your assistant, whoever, and they would need to see everything before it goes out to the end, and the employee that's going to do the work or do the verification of the problem. Or you can have it directly go to the employee and divvy it up. The tool also allows you to track the time it takes to close these requests. So with time, you should be able to track how many complaints are we getting, or requests of whatever type it is throughout the organization. It's not just for one department. Cost for original setup is $7,500 per year. Not actually to keep it running, $7,500 per year for all departments. There is an additional $6,000 for services on the original setup. This is to configure it. If you want to see what it looks like or how it works, you could actually go to McAllen 311 and just type in the URL area. You will see it's exactly like that. We could actually duplicate what they have. They're using it for water department, trash collection, they're using it for public works, you name it. So this should automate a lot of what we're getting, at least in tracking and keeping up with what the demands are from our residents. It also gives them an avenue to submit their requests or complaints to us, and so we can track them. So with that, we have metrics at the end of the year. So how many complaints did we get about potholes, or trash not being picked up, or brush, and so on and so forth.
And how many departments have looked at it already, or what?
We've been working with, well, actually, we've been working a little closer with Mr. Milan, because there's another component that we might consider. Currently, Milan is using another software right now that's kind of outdated. But this Acela also offers for the planning department. And what we're looking forward to is that, for example, if you submit a request for building a structure or something, you can see online where your request is every step of the way, where it's pending, what's lacking, if you submitted something to the P&Z, and so on and so forth. That's the second phase of this. That would be a totally separate charge. It's probably going to be a little more expensive because it's a lot more complicated. So the first phase is trying to get the customer relationship management system in place to help us keep up with complaints and tracking stuff. Now, by the way, if I get a call and I'm the operator, the receptionist, she can actually log things into this system and route them to the right department so that it can be addressed. The department, I've discussed it in several directors meetings that we've had, and we've talked about it actually for over a year ago in trying to improve customer service. Again, McAllen is using it for tracking their stuff. It's not something that small cities use, even a big city like McAllen.
Yeah. So you see a benefit in the main benefit?
Yes, yes. In fact, I've used it in McAllen when water gets backed up in the recent rains. You send the pictures, and it actually reports the location, and they send somebody out. A lot of times I don't even talk to anybody.
Right,
So I don't have to sit there. And
real time, in other words.
Plus, you also get a graphical of an area map that shows you. You want to see the complaints you're getting about flooding, and it shows you in the map where people are calling from and where the problem areas are. or the different types of issues. It could be potholes. If you want to track where the calls coming in, then we have a bunch of potholes, or they're not picking up trash. What part of town are we missing? Maybe brush pickup. And so it will track throughout time on a map telling you these are the areas you're having problems.
And that's something you see that all the departments will be incorporating and
Yes.
be trained on how to use it and get the most
The premise
benefit
behind
out
it
of
is to improve customer service. So there will be a log that says, hey, you called in on this date, or you submitted a request on this date, and we've been sitting on it, or no, we actually handled it within 2 days. So you can always go back and somebody says, hey, I called in about this and nobody's looked at it. No, we did, and this is a resolution. So they get a response back also. So it's gonna make us a little more, make sure we stay on top of things. And plus, we also will track the volume of issues in the different parts of town. So it will make us more accountable and more responsive.
You said the cost is $7,500 per year?
$7,500 per year. It's based on the size of the city. So as we get larger, the cost will go up.
So that'll be the initial cost, $7,500?
$7,500, it's a renewable, it's a subscription every year. It's $7,500 every year, but the initial setup is $7,500 plus $6,000 for configuring everything customizable to us.
So why does this say year 1, year 2, year 3, and up to $23,000? Is that it, or we're gonna continue paying the same amount every
No,
year?
well, basically you set up a contract so you can renew and you keep going or not.
I got you.
Okay, but you have to pay the subscription every year or decide not to. There, you can ask if you're satisfied with this renewing the $7,500, no additional customization or changes.
Yeah, or modify it.
Yeah, you just stick to the $7,500 a year.
All right, and right now we're proposing a 1 year, or we proposing
The renewable.
a renewable option? Should we say, you know what, it's wonderful, it's working out, it's...
Right, and so we'll set up one department at a time, and once we set it up for a department, they should be good to go.
Okay. All right, we have a motion at this time. Any other discussion on this item?
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, once it's all in place, and I'm assuming we're gonna
Get
teach
you
people how to do it, put it on the access channel, all that.
Yes, yes, we'll put out something so the residents learn about it.
Learn about it.
It's in a little application you can download to your phone, and once it's there, you can actually see the different departments. So let's say you have a problem with water, you have a leak or something, you want to report it, you go in there quickly. There's very little typing there or entry that you have to make.
Okay, so, next business in order is item 8. Reconvene into regular session in consideration of action on matters, but I guess convening earlier today. We have letter A, discussion and possible action, cause number, and there was no action on that item, which is 8A. Moving on to 8C, discussion and possible action regarding legal issues with 600 Northwest Street, Rio Grande City. And at this time, if nobody objects, I'm going to skip item B for this time. Moving on to C, discussion and possible action regarding legal issues with 600 Northwest Street, Rio Grande City.
Mayor, I motion that we authorize city attorney to take any and all legal action necessary to enforce the city's ordinance against the property owners, including filing a petition for declaratory action and injunctive relief if necessary.
Okay, we have a motion by
A
Commissioner
second.
Ramirez. We have a second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed? Carries. Next, business and orders item 8D, discussion and possible action regarding economic development agreement related to St. Ives Development Project under 380 of the Texas Local Government Code, and there was no action at this item, right? There was no action. Moving on to letter E, discussion and possible action regarding personal matters, and there was...
Ms. Flores has it.
Yes, Mayor. I move to instruct the city manager and city attorney to draft a new job description as discussed in executive session for the position of Development Services Director, and to present the same for commission's adoption at the next earliest commission meeting for approval.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Flores. We have a second.
Second motion.
We have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Hey.
Okay. Opposed? Commissioner Jones? Motion carries. Next business in order is item F, discussion and possible action related to legal matters regarding Fire Recovery USA.
Mayor, as per discussed in executive session to the questionnaire, I move that for question number 1, the answer should be no. For question number 2, the answer should be no. For question number 3, the answer should be yes. And for question number 4, the answer should be no.
Okay,
That's my move.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Garza, as per stated. We have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next business and orders item G, there was no action, if I remember correctly. And then item H, discussion and possible action regarding legal issues related to proposed city partnerships. And there's no action on that item. Was there an action there, or was there? No?
No, not this time.
For H? For H?
No
action. This time going back to item 8B, I will be recusing myself from this item. At this time, I'm going to be handing it over to Commissioner Garza.
Thank you, Mayor. Item B. No. Consultation with city attorney regarding legal issues related to notice of renewal options for Grande Garbage Company. Garbage Services section, it was an executive session. And I'll go ahead and make the motion regarding.
Mayor, I think, yeah, you're taking over, so someone.
Okay.
Mr. Jones.
I make the motion regarding to item 7B. I move to approve Grand Garbage contract renewal as he requested for a period of 2 years pursuant to his renewal authorization in his original contract. AB, sorry, regarding item AB.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Jones and a second by Mrs. Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That was the last agenda item. I'll go on to motion for
Department
adjournment.
Motion to go.
Motion.
Adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Ramirez.
Second.
Second by Mr. Jones. All those in favor signify by saying aye. This meeting is adjourned.